You know, when you're falling back onto Paint because it knows a few different formats. Nope.
Oh
Nope.
no,
Failure as well.
it's a mystery format.
Okay, and I do apologize for the delays, guys. Just pull up the details tab and give me the file names. If I just rename that to like PNG, sometimes it works because the file got sent through Gildan, and the Gildan may like ingest it and modify it somewhat. And
Yeah, I'm just looking it up now, and it appears to be something that Google's made up.
Yeah, if I just rename it to PNG, it still works. I suppose Mapan is still unlikely to actually like the format because it's technically not a PNG. I just renamed it as such. Yeah, Mapan does fail, but now that it is like a proper PNG, I should be able to import it in like Photoshop.
Yeah, and just save it as a PNG.
Not a PNG file, not a PNG file. Okay, if I go into modify, okay, so Paint knows it. I'm just going to render it as a PNG, quote unquote, proper. But Paint does not have a transparent background. So now that we have a proper PNG, let's go through Photoshop. Does it look pathetic? It sounds pathetic when I explain it. That's not the right image. Where did I save it? Am I this dumb?
So today on Photoshop tutorials, we'll be teaching you how to convert a WebP into a PNG.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. There we have it. Yeah, I should probably like just create a new thing though. Open with Photoshop. Shoot, Photoshop, there it is. Because I don't want to add it to like the current project. There you go. This, remove the background. There you go. There you go, there you go, there you go. Why do you do this to me, Gilded? Okay. After render, I want to make sure to render it with the transparent background because that's kind of the important part. PNG transparency, yes. Put it on the desktop. With that being said, we are now ready to go. Let's upload it for the last time, for real this time. There we go, and it is going to be accepted by Mapan. How gracious of our overlords. So, wrong button. Let's generate the Mapan links. So Aerstream, here is yours. Let me just get back here to send them the links. And the match is going to be this one. Aerstream Tricks is going to be the captain. Here, Mapan, you have first ban. There we go. For Eclipse, Renzen. Your Mapan, there we go. And for you, my dear Vulgar, giving you the observer link. Okay. We are now ready to go. Did we drop in too many viewers because this is like a downtime right now? I suppose so. Oh, not even. We're up. Hey, welcome everybody. Okay, 498 followers now. We're only 2 till we hit 500. Consulate is going to be our first map band of the night. Aerstream. Do Aerstream have a history to them? Have we casted them before?
I don't think that when I casted before that Aerstream played on Consulate, so I'm not very surprised that it's been banned.
They have been casted before.
They haven't.
Yeah, they have been. Okay, let me just. Am I getting TM'd here? So yeah, Aerstream, they're sending me another logo. The same one as above my head right now, but just with a different shade. It's bluish. Use that one. Okay. I mean, it's, as far as I don't have to go through the steps as before. No, but Discord, he sent me it on Discord. Discord actually saves PNGs. Thank you, Discord. Let's just put it in the same folder as the other team logos.
And as we're switching up the logos, Coastline has also been banned by Eclipse. So that's both Consulate and Coastline gone. Those are probably the 2 smallest maps on the pool, so that is interesting to say the least. So we'll be having a more strategic map and strategic plays coming out. And as we say, that Villa is going to be the first pick, so that's a very strategic map for sure. Very heavy roam presence potential, and also very strong site setups that are available for the defense as well as the attack for attacks. So that is definitely interesting to see. And now it'll be Eclipse's turn to pick a map. We'll have to see what they pick.
Okay. Yes, indeed. So, echoing what you said, big maps are remaining. Imagine if Theme Park was to be played.
Oh, I would be very happy.
So here, I know this is going to be off of our like personal experience, but which maps tend to be played the least? Like Theme Park is technically well balanced, but it is quite nuanced where a lesser team might feel overwhelmed, they might not like to play, or actually they might struggle and they might feel that the map is unbalanced because nuanced, right? And so Theme Park isn't played too often. By your reaction, I suppose you would like to see it played. Oregon is going to be our second though, so at this point it's either going to be a tiebreaker, third map, or it's just not going to be played at all. Whereas Club and Cafe are medium-sized. So, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think Club, Cafe, and I guess Club and Cafe are probably the Club, Cafe, Oregon are probably the three most played maps. So not at all surprising to see Oregon being played, and then either Cafe or Club being the decider maps. I mean, they've all been in the game for a long time. You know, Cafe and Oregon just got their facelifts. You know, Cafe with the rework, Oregon with the rework. Clubhouse actually got reworked too, like a way back, but they've just been constants in the competitive scene, and like everybody knows the strats for them. You can just kind of play it with the blindfold on. You don't really have to think too much. Villa, on the other hand, is one of the newer maps to be added to the map pool. So it is interesting that it is where we're going to be going first. I mean, obviously, it is decently old now. It's like roughly 2 years old at this point. But
since the rework, I mean, it is a vanilla map in the first place. So,
well, I'm talking about Villa.
Oh, so sorry. So sorry.
Yeah, because Villa's going to be the first map we play, and then Cafe has been banned as well. So our decider map will actually be Clubhouse, which would be interesting to see it again if we do see the difference between what Aerstream and Eclipse do versus what Impact Elite and Mishmash Gaming did.
So Eclipse against Aerstream, preparing the little like Twitter banner announcements. Aerstream logo. Where is Aerstream's logo? Here it is. But I should actually use the other color, so I'm gonna be picking the new logo. Graphics designer's life. I'm not made for that, and that's why I'm only listening with one ear. So sorry for like thinking we're talking about Cafe.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Our sides have now been decided as well. We'll have Aerstream starting on attack on Villa, starting defense on Oregon, and starting on attack on Clubhouse. So not terribly surprising. Obviously, Eclipse chose sides on Villa, and Aerstream chose sides on Oregon. So both teams chose defense when they could. And is Clubhouse chosen by Eclipse for sides, or was it just random?
Yeah, so they're gonna get to choose, but it's not supposed to be. But it's up to me to update the rules, and I have yet to do it because I'm dumb. Long story short, they are.
Right. Okay. So then that makes sense. And so all the teams wanted to start in defense, which is pretty normal. I mean, defense is generally the easier side to play. It's generally the advantage for the team that starts on defense, just because it gives you some early momentum if you can string together some rounds. But we will be starting to get the lobby populated as soon as we can.
Yep.
And in the meantime, we'll just talk a little bit more about these maps. So what do you think about Villa? Like, why do you think Aerstream is bringing Eclipse to Villa? What are the strengths, weaknesses, etc., if they have any?
So it's still too early in the season to be guessing that we were talking about a proper target ban or a target pick. So as far as Villa is concerned, it's one of the largest maps, but more so than just being a blanket large map, it has like 3 stairways. Think, for example, to Cafe. First floor, okay, but I mean, the second and the top floor only has 2 staircases, right? So that means roaming possibilities are slightly limited on that front. But then again, you would hardly say that Villa is a roam-heavy map, right? There's still going to be, for example, if you're defending into like aviation, the odd roamer around like Master's Bedroom to just be a general nuisance to the attackers. But we're not talking about like the proper setup, Vigil and Cavera, who are just evading attackers' detection, being like a silent knife in the back and then dissipating into thin air again. So that's kind of like the, can I say, paradox of Villa. Great roaming potential because like a lot of space to get to disappear in, a lot of staircases. They're difficult to like pin somebody down if they really want to stay mobile. But that's not the essence of this map. So I guess that's not how the teams play.
Yeah, I like that. I like what you said. Like, there's a lot of potential to roam, but most teams don't because often when you're playing Villa, like the turtle defense is very strong as well. Because Villa was one of the first maps that the Siege devs made that was like expressly made for competitive, and it shows because there's no rooms that are just directly onto site from like the outside. There's always a buffer room or two, which makes it so much easier to defend and so much harder as the attackers to rush into site or to like get some free picks from outside. So you're going to actually need to push into the building more as attackers, which makes it a little bit harder to roam because the attackers are going to be a lot more pressure to actually enter the building. They're going to be pushing a lot harder onto the actual like outside of sight, but into the building.
Looking into sending team invites. So Trix has been added to the friends list, and as soon as he accepts the invite, he's going to be invited into the game proper. So let's just tell him he did receive that, and here we go. Yes, I'm so sorry for like only being there half of the time. The image has been created, and I believe let's chaining them up. Aerstream.
I'm just watching your screen, and you did misspell changing there.
Yeah, I realized that, but oh gosh, and it's using the French dictionary, so it's not gonna correct them. Chaining them up this way, it's gonna be better against Surf Esports. May your match be as entertaining as the one before.
It's also with an E for entertaining.
So? No.
No, at the beginning.
At the beginning, okay.
There you go.
Thank you so much. I'm going to have to install the English dictionary. Anything else that I missed?
It looks good to me. I mean, I'm not good at English either, so.
May we not be too tired to cast you is not something I'm going to post. Yes, and the image proper is going to be in there, GFX, image current assets, and the game thumbnails is going to be here. Let's tweet it. Yep, so guys, if you want to support us, you might retweet what we just tweeted, I guess. So, yeah, now that I have my full attention back onto the game, our first map is going to be Oregon. Let's update that real quick. Oregon is the 4th one. Impact Elites is no longer Impact Elite. Let me. First map is Villa. I had not updated the webpage since. Our first map is going to be Villa. Aerstream is attacking, so Aerstream is going to be in the blue team. They already are according to the overlay, so that's correct as well. Aerstream is such, and Eclipse on the defense. So, guys, are you guys ready? Talking to the players, of course. They are. All 10 of them are in the server. Awesome. Your muscles are running, I assume. With that being said, good luck, have fun, and may the best team win. Let's jump right into it, Vulgar.
Well,
shall we?
Into the match. Let's go.
Let's go.
Villa. Villa is interesting. Like we were saying before the match started, it's very big. and it is very difficult to enter or very difficult to clear as an attacker because of all the staircases there are. But that doesn't mean that every team will necessarily roam because the turtle setups can also be very powerful. Attacker bans should follow, Thatcher +1, and then on defense it'll most likely be Mira +1. So we'll have to see what it gets banned. Obviously, Thatcher being banned, not at all surprising here.
I'll go
We
with
see him
Jackal.
banned more often than not. Or Thatcher being banned.
Yeah, I bet Jackal's the next one to be banned though. No, okay. Well, okay, that is actually the polar opposites with a slight grain of salt. So we talked about the map being big, right? We talked about it being a potentially roam heavy map, which in fact or in practice isn't, but hey, that's just me. So you might want to have a Jackal to flush out the roamers, or if you think to yourself, let's not flush the roamers out, push into bomb site and just cover our flanks to make sure they're not a problem since we haven't eliminated them beforehand. This is where Nomad comes into play. So looking at Aerstream banning Nomad, are they going to be playing roam heavy on defense once we get past the halftime mark and their role swap? Maybe. I mean, we'd have to keep our eyes open for that. And I mean, I'm just putting a hypothesis out there. I'm not exactly sure that is exactly likely, but that's a possibility at the very, very least.
Yeah, and the Nomad ban tells me that the what is it, Aerstream is going to be wanting to play as like lurkers on their defensive side, like have players hiding out maybe in the basement, maybe on the first floor, and just waiting for the last moment to kind of push up and flank the attackers, which can work, but is very easily shut down by the gridlock that Joker's bringing here. Or even just like watching on a flank drone and the attacker who's dead. So it is very inconsistent, but when it does work, it is very satisfying.
Hey, can I also allow myself, your casting really has improved greatly in the last few days or in the last few weeks, because I feel you way more confident, comfortable, and fluent when casting. I mean, a really, really easy example of somebody that is still a bit more novice is cutting off your sentences when you're thinking about the next idea that you want to chain up in your monologue, or in that case, dialogue, and you're just so much better than before. So congratulations, Volgar.
Thank you. That means a lot. I don't know what to say. Now you've made me cut off my words.
Oh no! What have I done?
Words. Yeah, no. Thank you. I mean, obviously, practice makes perfect, and you need a lot of practice as a caster. Long matches like this, it's going to be fun to see what happens. But the attackers are getting unleashed onto the field, and it does look to be a bedroom take for the most part. You got 3 people, 4 if you count the gridlock on the other side, but going over to the north side of the map to clear the roamers. But there aren't really any roamers to speak of, other than one player, the mute, playing on the main stairs. But other than that, there is also the Mozzie, I suppose, playing in master bedroom. We're going to try to deny a little bit of time. Not sure if he's going to be able to do much. He's actually peeking over to ruins, but there's only one player that spawned there.
Both roamers have been spotted out at this point. Let's see exactly how Aerstream wants to flush them out. Joker here, I mean, his gridlock, right? So he could cut off a rotation if Aquila wants to run out, and if he can keep him pinned into bathrooms, it would be quite easy to have a wallbang off of the walk-in closet, but no! He's gonna full rotate, full 360 degrees, and he's back into statuary room. Not that he shut down anybody in the process, but he still exploited some openings that Aerstream gave him. So if he was to do that again, but mid-firefight, that potential of his would be quite great. But then again, I'm not exactly sure if it was entirely skill or just luck. But one thing is for sure, it looks like Goku is also falling back a little bit, leaving Aquila quite alone, which might be why he also is falling back somewhat. But furthermore, the thing is, they're not fighting too much. He gets a first kill here, you gotta give him that. But they're falling back without playing the map too much, wasting too much time, or burning too much utility. Be it drones, ace charges as the one's going to blow right here, or flash grenades, anything. Aquila is going to get another kill. He's quite potent. I'll give him that, but he's not playing the typical roam game, which is quite perplexing. But hey, if it works, congratulations.
Yeah, considering that the Aerstream, or sorry, Eclipse put so much utility into holding on to the statue rate or in trophy. They just kind of fell off of it as soon as they got pressured. But it seems to be working because, you know, Joe or the Mozzie got 2 kills off of that in very quick succession with that P10 Roni. And Avalon does actually get a kill onto Whip It, so that is equalizing a little bit, although they are still a man disadvantage. But Joker going down to Goku, and he is on the late flank, and that's where the Nomad would have been useful, but obviously has been banned out. So Avalon taking some damage from the Maestro Cam. I don't know if he actually shoots it or not. It does look like it's still up, so that's still going to be some utility. But Mo on the Repel on 90 window is going to take down Aquila. Finally, the Mozzie going down eventually. Now, in a 2 versus 3, Eclipse still in the lead here in terms of man counts, and this impact trick going to come out is successful, but the second and or third actually charge going out, and it does get impact tricked as well. But Mo equalizing onto Goku. Now in a 2 versus 2, he's going to need to do some quick carrying, but it is now only up to 1 versus 1 as Mo gets a triple kill, going for the quad, but 1 second left. Is it going to be enough time? It is not, and he does not get the final kill. Mute stays alive, and wins the round.
Hey, I really find this unfortunate because, well, Smoke or Mute wasn't firing back, so I guess it was all up to Hibana, and Hibana also was potatoing her shots. Any other moment into the round would have been unfortunate, but it would not have cost you the round because the opponent wasn't exactly firing back on you either. But here with 2 seconds on the clock, Mo, were you like stressed out or something? Because that shouldn't be the end of it, right? That's the kind of gunfight which any regular T3 player should be getting. I'm talking to also Mute as well here, but the pressure really was on Hibana.
I mean, the pressure can sometimes get to you if you're in a 1vx situation and you're like, you know, you've gotten like 3 kills, you're going for the 4th for the win. That can kind of, you know, play into your mentality and kind of mess you up and make you hesitate on shots that you would normally hit no problem, but it just whiffed at this point. And obviously that seems to have happened on the Hibana. It just did not hit the shots that he needed to, which is unfortunate, but it's understandable. You know, it's the first round, and some jitters. Not a big deal if you can bring it back.
Oh, yeah. Anything is still possible. The game is so young that you can just chuck it up to both teams kind of learning each other's ways, and now Aerstream that they know that, for example, Eclipse likes to roam, and Aquila is quite efficient with that specific roam game. Well, let's say Jackal hasn't been banned. Want to pick him maybe next round? Not this very round, but if the roaming still keeps being too big of an issue, they might maybe want to use him up a little bit. It still remains to be seen, but definitely, yeah, both teams are going to take each other's measure, and they're likely to start playing accordingly, because right now this is still their default de facto go-to playstyle, and one's de facto playstyle might just be the natural counter to the other. So it remains to be seen, but I feel like you're missing narrowly his shots.
Yeah, he kind of let himself be seen here. I mean, I don't think the drone has seen him, but now it has, and he was killed for it. Go Dusty, beautiful shots onto him. That's an excellent coordination coming out from Aerstream there. You know, droning and then shooting at the same time is a skill that is deceptively simple, but is very difficult to like master. You know, and that is all of a sudden the roamer for Eclipse off the board.
And utility lost. I mean, once again, Aquila, 2 drones were staring down at him when he was still alive, and then he tried to rotate. Even just shooting these 2 drones down could have been so useful because, I mean, Aerstream still have 8 to go. Man advantage. They have uncontested control of the south wing of the building. And imagine if like these 4 players come crashing down on Classy Demon. He is not, or he would in that hypothetical scenario, not stay alive for too long. Goku seems to be turning around, but that's also kind of turning his back onto the windows right here, and that could be dangerous depending on how whoever's attacker is there. Whose sword is that? That is Avalon. Depending on how Avalon wants to play that, having Goku's back on him could be dangerous, and now, well, the shield no longer is there, so it remains to be seen, but openings, possibilities being created.
Yeah, 2 people have rotated onto the master balcony from the both side, and that's interesting to me because it seems that, you know, Aerstream had all 5 players there in order to clear out Aquila, but then as soon as they got the kills, they just rotated out. Joker actually going to take a kill onto Goku right after Avalon gets taken out. So now, maintaining the advantage, Aerstream is going to be pushing onto site momentarily. 50 seconds left. They have plenty of time to play with, and they are pressuring site quite heavily. They don't have master control, but they don't really exactly need it if they want to take on to Baby or Trophy instead. Trophy with another kill into Classic Demoness and Mute being taken out, and Jaeger losing control of master for his team as
Oh no.
they to whip it on site, and he gets taken out and he is eliminated. Mo with a final kill of the round onto the castle there is going.
Yeah, castle.
Yeah, and that is now 1-1 apiece.
Yeah, really unfortunate because Castle was in a unwinnable situation at this point because he could either look at the one door where Mo was going to come in through, which would have saved his life, but that would have surrendered the control over the other bomb site, and diffuser would have in any case been planted at this point. So yeah, I guess you might rather be alive and in an unwinnable situation than just flat out dead, because that's your chance of coming back from that are exactly 0. But yes, we could dissect the last few seconds of the round as much as we want to. The true mistake was not Whippet turning around. The true mistakes have been done before, and that's when his teammates died all around him, leaving him in an, drastically unbalanced situation.
Yeah, I think Aquila dying so early that round was probably the biggest factor in them losing that round. He just did not delay the attack at all, and it allowed them to take full control of the south side of the building and just collapse on the site with ease without any real contention from the remaining players of Eclipse. I mean, even if Aquila died there and they could have still won if they were rotated another player over in the south side to contest that, but as it was, Aquila was entirely unsupported, and the Eclipse did not attempt to retake the control that they had lost.
Interestingly enough, Aerstream are going to be setting up, seemingly at least, the similar setup, roaming setup. Aquila was quite successful, so I guess that makes sense. But at the same time, he was successful only for the very first round. After that, he did exactly nothing before dying so early that you can't even argue he played for time. So I would just hope for him that the execution is going to be a bit more successful. But yeah, at the very least, Aerstream now know what to expect, because he's not going to drastically change playstyles. He's not picking Rook, right? He's still playing the very same operator with the same jitteriness, if that's a word, right? He shoots on a drone and doesn't insist too much. Falls back immediately. But by falling back so quickly and so easily, eventually you run out of space to fall back to. And when you're on OBJ with only, say, 45 seconds wasted, that's not much of an achievement for a roamer. He's alive, still better than before, but yeah, I feel he's a bit too passive, or he's letting himself be bullied a bit too easily, if I can put it that way. Bullied seems a bit harsh, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. And in the meantime, Classic Demon does take down Avalon. That is now the first kill of the round, going over to Eclipse this time round. Aquila just getting droned out mercilessly, and he falls back all the way to site with only 1 minute and 10 seconds wasted. That's not great. And in the meantime, Zyther is also gone down on the south side of the building in the meantime. So that is the south wing of the building entirely surrendered to the attack of Aerstream this time. But Aquila is holding onto this tight angle, and it might get him a kill if he's not droned out here.
So yeah, sorry for the partial distraction. That the players wanted to have their coach with them in the channel, and as you know, since the new season, the coach can't be talking with them, so I had to server mute him, and now he's with them. Can of course ask for a tactical timeout, that kind of stuff, but cannot be IGLing mid-game. So 1 minute 10 remaining on the clock, roughly 1 minute, let's just say. Aquila's gonna get a kill, and I mean, not because he's back on OBJ that his gun skills just fly out the window. He's still gonna be a very potent player, holding a narrow angle, but still, he's open to a pre-fire, and that's exactly what is gonna come to pass. Tricks flushing him out. Castle with the UMP just not strong enough. And all things considered, the defense has a very, very slight grip on OBJ. Diffuser could be planted under their noses without it being too big of a stretch of the imagination. Yeah, it has to happen because Diffuser, being held by Tricks, isn't on bomb site to begin with, but that seems to be a very, very small hurdle for Aerstream Esports in the current situation.
Yeah, neither player of Eclipse is actually on site right now, which is an issue because the plant is going down and it's not really able to be denied. Oh, but Goku with a beautiful 2K. Doesn't matter that the defuse is planted, but now it tricks in 1 versus 2. He's going to need to kill both the Goyo and the Mute. He takes down the Goyo, but the Mute is still up, and he takes down the Mute as well. Beautiful recovery from Tricks. Aerostream almost throwing it because of Goku's beautiful plays, but not quite enough.
That was unfortunate because Smoke was running. He was just, Mute was running. He was just not ready for this. And I feel like there's no reason for that because Ash had just gotten the kill. Speeder, yes, title is wrong. We haven't updated the team's name since the previous best of 3. That was this very stream at the beginning of the stream. The title was up to date. I'm gonna update that right about now, shall we? So yes, nicely done, but exactly, Classy knew his teammate was dead. He knew Trix was going to turn around and try to take him down because he knew he was the last threat to the enemy team that remained. But he failed to realize that, hey, if Ash is going to turn around and try to get me, I should not run towards her. I should get my gun up, aim at head level, and that kind of stuff. And that is something he didn't exactly catch on to until it was too late.
Yeah, and it's kind of the inverse of what we saw in the first round, where Habana had kind of frozen up and just misplayed it a little bit. And this time we saw the mute, which was the the other operator in that first situation, and he just kind of froze up. Well, not froze up, but he was running and he shouldn't have. And it's just something that you need to work on. But it's again not the biggest deal. But we'll see if he can fix his play style, fix his plays here. I like this hole in the wall in games here. It allows for the defenders to play a lot more fluidly in that 90 hall, and if pressured too much, they can pretty quickly just reinforce behind them without fall back and reinforce behind them without much risk to themselves.
Okay. Unilateral push, isn't it? 5 players, well, different floors, but generally speaking, there's absolutely no pincer movement possible looking at the current positioning of Aerstream Esports. They likely are going to attempt something, and the Evil Eye is above. Ash is going to make short work of that. Was it technically Zofia? I think it was. Well, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But yeah, now that you have 2 players on the first floor, they might want to come up either, red stairs or main stairs, all of that, just to underline the fact that maybe a pincer movement is going to be established after all. Aquila is right here on the drone. He was chilling with his attacking drone buddy there. But all that to say, the first floor, say, expeditionary force has been figured out. Aquila being quite an active roamer might want to go against them, but he seems to be the active yet falling back easily being funneled out roamer, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing here. He attempted something, but he's not too used to actively rushing or running towards the enemy team when he's the defender. Goku, however, is the kind of guy who does that. Remember his first round late round roam flank. There we go. So he's going to be trying that yet again. It's just not late roam, but it's the same typical play style. And he's going to have to do so quickly because on objective, his teammates are in an artificial 2v5 situation. Goku, the time is ticking. Crouch walking may not be the right speed at the current time. Oh, but that's diffuser lost. Nicely done. Drones on him, though. He's not likely to stay alive for too long. And there you have it. That was a perfect cross angle, if I may. The white tracer lines crossed exactly where his body stood moments before. Goku, it's now or never. Oh, no. He hesitated. He's going to back up. Going to go back up the red stairs. Natural cell. Pre-placed. Doesn't do too much. Diffuser getting planted. And oh, that could actually work. But it does work, but just seconds too late. The last track singer gets shot down. Goku also getting a kill. The comeback is kind of happening now, isn't it?
Yeah, Joker and Trix both on very low health, and they're going to need to pull out some good shots if they want to get this. Diffuser is starting to get diffused, but the Goku taking down a player, and he getting seen but not able to finish it off. And Maestro with a beautiful shot with that Alda, not able to finish out, is the gridlock Joker going down to that Alda, and Scyther finishes out the rounds. That was beautiful shots coming out. The Alda does go burr.
Yes, Alda go burr. If that's not one of the strongest guns in the game, might be a bit harsh, but I mean, it has such a big rate of fire, big magazine, good damage, and just range accuracy, because I mean, a good rate of fire, that's just about any gun that's not slowing the game. Well, that literally is, but for example, think about the Vector, right? Great rate of fire, but then again has a small magazine, has a harsh recoil, doesn't have too many damage, doesn't pack too big of a punch, right? Or MP7 also, that's a pea shooter. You got to shoot at the head. Alda does not play by these rules. What's the counter to that gun? It's slow. You got to give it that. But if you're already up, if you're already pre-aiming at your opponent when the time to fire comes, I guess you could say that this problem can be counteracted quite easily.
Yeah, for sure. The Alda is a little bit unwieldy, but it definitely makes up for it with its excellent damage, ammo, and rate of fire. With it, a little struggle there with the drone, but he does get it in the end. And it does look like they're going to be going for a little bit of a roam setup inside of library, which I do like. It kind of helps them extend sight a little bit and hold on to mudroom a little bit easier. We're going to just check in for some drones real quick. That's a pro tip right there. To always check the drone holes before you actually set up in this spot. And some reinforcements coming out too. This is a little bit dangerous, but does not look to be a rush, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
Almost getting his drone taken away, but he saves it at the last second.
So like you said, it is kind of a risk to do anything that's related to like the preparing the initial setup once the attackers have spawned in. But it is quite rare to see a proper rush happening in a competitive game. I mean, Aquila shutting down tricks pretty hard, not taking any kind of damage in return. So that's, your entry fragger now gone. The other second entry would be Dusty, and he is hot on Aquila's trail, but Aquila kind of also is aware that he's now a hunted man. But knowledge is power, but that does not exactly guarantee you the kill now, does it? But Zyther here, poor trigger discipline. You revealed your position without getting a kill in return, and that's exactly what it is going to cost you. Your goddamn life. Dusty is now lower than even, 25 HP, so you did, or Zyther should I say, did inflict a lot of damage, but at the end of the day, it only really matters who is properly dead, and that person would right now be Zyther.
Yeah, Dusty single-handedly kind of taking this round back from Eclipse here, and excellent shots going to be note from him. That M762 or something. Excellent.
Yep.
Gun. Very deadly in the right hand, and Dusty has the right hands, it appears. They still now. That means that Aerstream does have top control entirely. And actually, Mo is in sight, so if he had to use it right now, he could play. It doesn't look like there's any knowledge of this either, so this is a very dangerous position for Eclipse to be in. But with it does actually take down Joker, so now it is equalized. However, Mo is still in sight, and it is now a technical retake for Eclipse, and they don't know where Mo is. They're just panicking, and Mo takes a lot of damage on the Classic Demon. He has the SMG-11, but it's not enough. And from above, Dusty takes down Classic Demon. Now all up to Whippet and Goku as the plant does go down. They're going to need to retake. Both are upstairs. Goku takes down one player. Whippet is dropped onto red, and he is holding Mo on this angle. But Mo is going to down him, and it is now all up to Goku. He's going to need to get a lot of work done here. He's on the diffuser, but it's being watched from far away. He's going to go for the defuse. The shield might protect him.
No, it's not. It's not going to be enough. Not when Ace comes in from the other side of the shield. When the shield isn't between you and your opponent, it's just not going to be enough. Plus, it was a Vulcan shield. That gets detonated quite easily. So it was hardly a reliable piece of cover. But hey, attempts have been made. Sticking to the defuse was the wrong call, though. I mean, he should have used it to bait out the attackers, which totally worked. He was pinched between two angles, so that would have been difficult to win. But if not impossible, extremely unlikely. So hey, attempts being made.
Yeah, it was a valiant effort for sure, but in the end was not enough to get the round. Now, Aerstream up 3-2 on their attacking half, which is very good. If they can bring this up to 4-2 even, it would be even better. We see a similar situation as we saw from from Impact as in the last game. And we all know how that turned out in the end.
Okay, so right here we are going to have for the last round, by the way, sorry for the hesitation. You know how I said you're getting better, you're not hesitating? Yeah, I totally do that from time to time. Still, top floor control, top floor defense, obviously, right? Why would they ever go anywhere else, for example, into reading? And of course, they lost in the base in the kitchen area. They might not want to go there again for obvious reasons, which brings us back to statues and trophy. But the question all around is, how exactly are they going to play this? Because that's a typical setup that we've seen before, right? The extended hold, the castle barricade. They've done this by round number 2. and this is actually one of the only 2 rounds they've won. So I guess that makes sense, that figures. But then again, every time you go for a strategy which you've already shown or displayed to your opponents, well, yeah, then you give them the latitude to just adapt and overcome. You know, improvise, adapt, overcome. You know where I get that from. It's a meme. But definitely that applies here. Oh, and Aquila is being droned out. He doesn't realize that. So yeah, all around, last round before the roll swap, and Eclipse at best can bring this into a 3-3 situation, which is not too encouraging for them.
Yeah, and this time Aquila does have more support, but it doesn't matter because Dusty just gets the kill very easily. Zyther not able to help him out here, but he's still going to be trying to hold, and Whippet getting the refrag onto Trick, so that is the Ashe out of play from the castle. Now, Dusty trying to clear out the player Zyther, but does not know where he is at this point. Zyther is actually falling back to site here, so that is the south side given up for free, but that's not before wasting about a minute of time, so not awful, but not great at the same time. Now, Aerstream is in position to potentially collapse on the site if they are so willing, but the proximity alarm is going to give away Dusty's position here, and Goku is holding this tight angle that's very difficult to deal with. But he does actually fall off of it for one reason or another, but he's back on it now. Dusty, rotating around, does not get taken out by Goku, although he does attempt. Zyther sees the drone, but he doesn't know if he wants to shoot or not.
Yeah, that would reveal his position, and so far, yeah, Dusty is just watching the angles out of, you know, just good habit, but he did not realize that Zyther's right there, so that's totally a missed drone. That's why you don't want to shoot down the drone, because that would reveal your positioning, and that would prevent you from getting a double kill. He could even turn this into a triple, but this time Mo is going to be on his scent, pre-fires, and, you know, Pika's advantage is just not going to be enough in that situation. Goku also fell in the meantime. I believe you commented on that, leaving us with a 1v2 situation. Classy really has no control over OBJ whatsoever. The extended hold into the walk-in closet is quite useful. But then again, it does not get the it does not prevent the diffuser from being planted, and when everybody else on bomb site is dead, you have to rotate, but that was playing directly into Mo's hand. Nicely done there.
Yeah, and Airstream now up 42 on the attacking split. That is beautiful from them, and you know, the SMG-11 is not the weapon you want to have at that range of play, so it's not at all surprising that Mo was able to get the kill there. Not much that you know, the Mute could have done there, unfortunately, but now Airstream will be on the defense, and they will have to prove that they can do just as well in defense as they can on attack.
Absolutely. Thing is, okay, we've been like just wrong for the entire first best of three of the night. Both maps that we've seen were defense-sided. Right? I mean, Oregon, and you weren't there for Oregon, but Oregon and Clubhouse are defense-sided, and yet the attacking team had the upper hand, and that upper hand had been run through like the second half where they're defending. You could argue that the winning team started attacking on both sides, but yes. And yet, here, it's the same thing, right? Eclipse were attacking, Eclipse were therefore having the upper hand. On a map that should in theory be defense-sided, so I don't know exactly what to tell you there, but it looks like the meta is off when just a skilled team is on attack, basically.
Yeah, well, I will say that the second to most recent patch has definitely shifted the balance of power in much more in favor of the attack, with the nerfs to Jaeger and Wamai, you know, losing one of Wamai's gadgets, losing his shield. Jaeger, you know, the whole rework for Jaeger, and just overall, the attack has gotten a lot more powerful, while the defense has been quite substantially nerfed, which has made it a lot more even in terms of, you know, which side a map is based, or is more favored towards, which we definitely see here with the attack getting the lion's share of the rounds.
Sorry about that. Oh shoot, did I not type? God damn it. Okay, yeah, because I'm trying to be active with the chat at the same time, which is something I totally should not be doing. But then again, you usually have mods like responding to chat questions. So I will just accept the fact that you guys will have a 3-minute delay before hearing the answer. Tomorrow, there are matches, there are 2 matches being played. So Impact Academy at this point, I suppose. Yeah, Impact Academy are playing against Lumberjacks. Which you even casted, right? Maybe not. and the other match is going to be between Divinity and Valdium. And how do I, whenever you have two matches scheduled at the very same time, how do I decide which match is going to get streamed? Well, basically both matches, the teams that have been streamed the least amount of times are going to be streamed this time around. Kind of a communist approach, but I am going to be just embracing that approach, if you want to label it as such. So yes, this is why I couldn't just on the spot tell you who's going to be casted, because I would have to do some math before. Joker is being squeezed quite hard here. He's getting droned. You know they want to funnel in. They want to flush him out, but the floor is hard mostly. Right here, the floor is technically soft, and I guess Classy could be a danger to him, but he's getting a lot of utility flashes. The magnets have been destroyed, but they're in now. He's flashed behind him right there. That was Avalon who saved his life.
Avalon, I was seeing that angle from before, and I did not expect it to be that effective, though. That is beautiful play. Eventually, Joker didn't take it out, but not before Avalon was able to save his life twice with 2 kills consecutively, as long with another from somebody else. I didn't catch who actually got it, but Scyther does have control of Bathroom, so this isn't all lost. But that's not going to be enough if they can't get 4 kills with 2 people left alive. The Melusi gadget is going to get destroyed, which allows the Esh to push in, but doesn't matter because Trix is on it. And now it is all up to the Thermite of Scyther. And he does get... No, he actually doesn't even get a single kill, Dusty, with this. If you let him, just going to melt him away and destroy him. That is Aerstream taking up 5-2 with a very convincing round.
Oh yeah, very convincing. Seems to be an understatement. Like you said, that's angle. I didn't even know that, to be totally frank with you. And just like you said, even more overpowered than initially expected. So you could argue, I mean, usually the approach would be to flush out the roamers or find the angle you want to push in from and execute the push, right? Because the roamers would hypothetically be covering like cross angles or just be harassing you when you're trying to execute something. But this time the cross angle would be like the guy anchoring on OBJ proper. I guess since you have the angle is quite narrow, right? So you have to be on a very specific position to have the line of sight. So I suppose you could theoretically like buck from underneath and just like one shot of the shotgun would be enough to deny the angle, but that's just way too specific to be quite reasonable, you know, in just the randomness of a live match, you know?
Yeah, like for sure, like in retrospect, it's pretty easy to deal with that angle. I mean, like you said, the buck below, even a nade, a well-placed nade from the bedroom window would have like dislodged him pretty easily. But in the heat of the battle, like you are always going to be able to adapt that quickly on the fly, and
that precisely.
Yeah, and that precisely, exactly. Yeah, like you don't know where that is. Like you have to kind of pre-plan a lot of these holes above, unless you're going to use a yelping, which is kind of difficult to aim if you're not like extremely adept at it.
So I guess. Sorry. So go ahead. I'm cutting you off there.
No, I was just saying, but that's all in the past. I was just segueing for you.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna segue into like another generic statement, which would also serve as a good segue. I guess that means Eclipse as a team, they have some more scrimming and practicing to do. But let's look at this next round, because of course the same angle is not going to be viable for another time. Interestingly enough, this wall right here has been reinforced, and that's a rare occurrence if I do say so myself. What's the point of anchoring down here? Because Trix also being there, he's Wamai, right? He's tossing magnets as they get produced. They're truly anchoring. And I guess the idea is to deny, say, Buck or Ash or Sledge, not Sledge, sorry, Sophia, to destroy the ceiling, right? So destroying, for example, the mute jammers from underneath. It's quite a costly way of protecting your mute jammers. 2 lives, 2 players, 2 guns. But
especially,
yeah, go ahead.
Because the fact is that they're not pushing that. All the attackers are effectively on the top floor and the north side. And they're just kind of ignoring the holds from below, which they can really effectively do, because only Dusty on there has the C4, and if they can kind of bait that out, then it's going to be useless in the end.
Plus, there's nobody on 90 hallway, right? You have Joker, and well, he's on cams right now, but like he's in the main stairs. That's not where the push is coming from either. Avalon, he's smoked, so he shouldn't be on the first line, which is why he's in hunting vault. And who does that leave you with, Mo? In games room doorway. That's a strikingly passive defense right there, because I mean right here Eclipse, they made it up to hunting Volt Wall uncontested, right? The hard breach now just only has to survive the Nitro Cell, which he does, of course. Maybe get past the Mute Jammer. Once again, that's quite easy to dispatch of with a simple nade. And now you're ready to funnel into bomb site. That is strikingly simple for the attackers. Now there's a few key gunfights erupting. Avalon getting killing Aquila, Classic Demon being down as well. But the initial setup was surprising, once again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a surprising setup, but it seems to be working as it's now effectively a 2v4 for Aerstream in favor. And that is not good with a player on the ground. And, you know, Zyther does actually get into Vault, which is good, but it's not really going to be enough. Then they user, and he's going to get killed by Avalon. And now Classic Demon has been picked up, but he's a bullet away from death here, and this is not going to be easy. 20 seconds left with those smoke canisters still in play. Diffuser is on the ground, not planted, and this is not looking good for Eclipse. Classic Demon doesn't even get the first kill because Avalon shuts them down very quickly.
Aerstream thus winning their 8th round. That was all around nicely done, right? Their defense, I'm just repeating myself because we're just resuming or are making a quick little synthesis of the previous round, but that defense was strikingly lax. However, I guess that paid off because at the end of the day, that means every defender was on bomb site, and that, you know, OBJ room or rooms were just so much tougher of a nut to crack because the extended hold wasn't that extended. I know I'm kind of contradicting myself because they were extended. You had a lot of players on the first floor, one in the main stairs, but that's not where the attackers were pushing from. So you didn't lose any players, and they were able to rotate back on site, which then created a late round full turtle kind of strategy. It's kind of odd when I put it that way, but in my mind it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the defenders were like in position to hold on the first floor, but they didn't need to because there was no push on the first floor, which allowed them to, both the players that were on the first floor, to just return back to site unscathed and, you know, had a barn brawl on the site itself. And something to note here is that they're going to go to library. That is bizarre. Interesting if you want to be a little bit more polite about it. This is not a site that you often see, and there does seem to be a very extensive like setup here. Like they have completely opened up piano, and it does seem to be kind of similar to the hold that was going on the first floor last round, except more so.
That's an extended hold if I've ever seen one, and that's a custom-made strategy if I've ever seen one. You know, this isn't the default typical go-to ranked strat. I mean, you in ranked, you wouldn't even go in that bomb site or in that room area to begin with. The one hypothesis that which I hope for their sakes is not actually what's happening. Is the momentum getting to their heads, right? I mean, they're up 6-2. That's big, and so are they allowing themselves to take a bit greater risk and just let's see if it's going to work and try it out as if we were just testing a strat in a scrim? That doesn't seem to be the case, right? It's way too well prepared, way too well coordinated for my hypothesis to ring true. But I just wanted to underline it nonetheless because I hope for their own sakes that that's not the proper way that things are happening right now. I hear Mo has a tight angle on the doorway, and the one that's likely to die right there, that's Termite. Hard breach, diffuser lost. There's no ace. There's no Hibana. I mean, at this point, hard breach is just off the board entirely. Mo with a impact frag, to say the least. That's going to be a double kill. He's now low on health. He's unlikely to just keep on going, but still, he definitely made an impact on the round.
Your castle, nonetheless, like that is extremely
the hump
thing you would ever expect for like a castle to reliably be able to do, but Mo just does it. Looks almost effortless with that 1.5x. That is actually quite the weapon to be reckoned with. And Whippet trying to clear out the roamer upstairs, but he's going to be fighting a losing or a uphill battle here. As there's also Dusty here on as well, trying to hold on, and Trix is going to be aiding as well. This is not looking good because they just Eclipse just does not have the manpower right now in order to clear the top floor. So Goku's actually going to fall off a bit, attempt to go for site itself, but you know, if you don't clear the top floor, you can't really clear the site. Dusty adding to the pile of bodies as he takes down Classic Demon. Goku attempting to kill the Vigil, but not even going to be able to do that. And the final round of the game, or of the map, is going to be flawless as Aerstream decisively takes map number 1.
Sneaking past the roamers was really not the right call to make there for Goku, as unfortunate as it is, because a lot of people in chat were rooting for Goku. Thing is, if you try to sneak past the roamers, your push on OBJ might be as fruitful as you could expect, but the thing is, the roamers are going to just come back down the stairs and shoot you in the back. So really, you cannot ignore the roamers, except if you have like a lot of flank watch, drones, claymores. Nomad was banned in that case, but you get the point, and or gridlock. But yeah, so that was our first map. Let's just we were into library. Aerstream won by killing the enemy in a flawless round, might I add. Let's ask the players. Did you want a 5-minute break, or should we chain up the next map well, just now?
Yes, please. For us,
Good to go.
5 minutes, awesome. No issues. Take your time. So yeah, I was not muted in the game as well. I am going to unmute their coach as they are allowed to. And yeah, so Onwork is their Oakward is their coach. I'm gonna have to just remind myself who that was when the next match comes. Yes, so when I do the synthesis of this map, I want to say Eclipse as roamers, they were really interesting. Remember at the very beginning, Aquila with the Motzi, that's not how you would usually play with a roamer, but if it works, wow, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Aquila started off the game really well, but in the end, he just kind of fell apart. He wasn't able to really hold on to this performance, and Aerstream was just able to kind of, pick apart the roam of Eclipse quite easily with just drone work and, bullets, really. Like, not a lot of utility was actually invested in clearing the roam, but it was a very effective roam cleared nevertheless. And something else I wanted to say is that Mo actually ended up with a 6.0 KD at the end of that map. Oh. And so, yeah, he was 12-2 on the castle on defense at least, and he just mopped up kills left and right.
Absolutely. So our next map of the night is going to be Oregon. And it is actually going to be Eclipse who attack first. So of course it makes sense because Aerstream, they get to pick their spawn side and the defense seems to be a bit easier. But I am a bit odd as far as casting goes because I myself as a player, I'm not that good, okay? So when the players do play with strategies that have, nuances to them, and those undercurrents just evade my thinking. I don't understand them at all. And sometimes you have teams that will purposefully decide to go and attack on a map such as, for example, Clubhouse. And this is so defense-sided that I don't get why you'd want to go and attack first. Or, for example, last best of 3, the winning team, Impact, they attacked first on both maps. So that means they decided to attack when they had the choice, but their enemy, Mishmash, elected to do the other thing or elected the opposite, went for the opposite choice, which then prompted, the other team to attack first, which is why Impact attacked first twice. Do you have an idea why that was the case?
Well, for some teams, I guess, there's just more comfortable in attack than defense. I mean, it's understandable because on attack, you can kind of dictate how... the pace of a round because you're the one that's attacking, whereas the defense is kind of reacting to what you are doing as an attacker. I mean, obviously there's some vice versa as well where the defense is able to kind of dictate how aggressive they're being. But some teams just want to start on attack, and even if they are more comfortable in defense, sometimes they want to start on attack because, I don't know, they just want to kind of throw the other team off, or if they don't want to show off their defensive strats first, and so that they can be copied or something, which obviously isn't something that happens a lot, but it's definitely something to be concerned about potentially. So yeah, I guess that is my analysis on it. Obviously, I could be entirely wrong, and I don't know. We'll have to ask them if we want to, but yeah.
Well, let's start thinking about the next map then. Talking about Oregon, what kind of gameplay can we expect from Oregon? Because This map is a bit less roam heavy or roam favored, if I can put it that way. Thing is, you can still have roamers. Think if you are defending the basement floor, you could have a few guys like get spotted in the main hallway or in meeting, and then run up the stairs and then try to make a stand and say. I want to say like in front of the big window and in bunks and that kind of stuff. If they get flushed out, or if the pressure mounts up too greatly, they can just drop down the hatch, and they would then be around like kitchen. If there's a rotate hole, you can make it to say CCTV, then drop down to I'm always hesitating with the room names. That's pathetic. Into freezer, and then you're back on site. I mean, assuming you win your gunfights and you stay alive, right? So you can have those type of anchoring roamers that are just there to attract attention, force the attackers to flush them out before they make it into the bomb site, before they start attacking bomb site proper. But that's not exactly how Eclipse tend to roam, right? Aquila, he's active, he's in your face. Gets spotted out, shoots the drone down, runs away, rinse and repeat to eat up the utility and the time this way. But this map right here, Oregon, is a bit less favorable to that kind of playstyle because it's not as large as it was. I mean, going back to the long-winded tirade, you can anchor down as a roamer, but you can't exactly move about for too long before you're at the end of the rope, before you're out of room to rotate back. So then, how do you expect them to play? long tirade.
So Oregon is a lot more linear than Villa. Like, there's a lot of places that you have as a roamer on Oregon that you kind of just have to anchor there, and you don't really have any prospects to rotate out. Like, say, like look at Big Tower, for example. If you're playing there as a defender, you are expecting to die there, but you're just trying to waste as much time as possible before you die in order to give your team the win. But with Aquila's playstyle, that doesn't really work for him because he is more focused on, hanging out like on near an entrance and then falling back as soon as he gets droned out. Shooting the drone, falling back, and then, like you were saying, rinse and repeat. But I think if Eclipse wants to have a shot here, then they're going to need to kind of adapt that and have a more anchor playstyle off-site, if that makes sense. Not necessarily having 5 players on site, but having 5 players holding specific areas of the map and not letting go without dying. Because in my mind, Oregon just requires that. Like even if you're playing in blue, for example, in basement, like you're going to be holding onto that like as long as you can before rotating out, rather than just kind of you're not going to be hiding as much as you are just contesting areas.
Yeah. So the players had asked for a roughly 5 minutes break, and now 5 minutes are roughly over. So Aerstream are ready. Eclipse. Let me just type it up. Zyther says they're ready. Awesome. Good luck, have fun, and may the best team win. And let's jump right into it. So, by the way, the Discord screen share I'm sending you is like the OBS virtual camera, so you'd be seeing exactly what the stream saw. Do you prefer it this way, or would you rather have like the gameplay raw?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What?
Like the Discord screen share that you're getting, like, is what OBS is seeing, right?
Right. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Because this way, I mean, you know exactly what stream is seeing, and I thought that would be quite useful. So Thatcher, first operator ban.
Yeah,
that makes
unsurprising.
Sense.
I mean, I'm not even going to comment on it at this point. It's just, it's a Thatcher ban. Who cares?
And what about Aerstream now? So they're attacking. No, they're defending. Sorry. Oh, wait, they're defending. Swap operator bans. Because no, wait, I'm messed up. So Eclipse, they went for a Thatcher ban. The overlay was going to be on the wrong side. If not, then Jackal. That makes sense because if you like roaming, like they likely will, well, then you might not want to be faced with the anti-roaming operator. Mira taken off the board. That's odd though, because I mean, Eclipse. Yeah, Mira is among the best on this map because Mira really is map dependent. She's just as good as the line of sight you're creating by breaching a hole in a specific wall is going to be. And think, for example, about laundry in the basement. When you have a Mira in that one closet, a main stairs push is just impossible at this point. Not that main stair pushes are too common nowadays, since the rework, let's just say that they're no longer the bread and butter of a basement push, but still, you get the idea, right? That's item
Yeah,
number
for
one.
sure.
And item number 2, Valkyrie. So Intel off the board by a lot. People might not like me calling Valkyrie, Mira, an Intel-based operator, because definitely she is not no camera operator like a Valkyrie or even like a Maestro. But Intel-based is like seeing without being seen, right? Even just a goo mine that blows makes noise, and that alerts you to an enemy's presence without them knowing where you are, aka without having a direct line of sight. A mirror window, you don't know if there's somebody behind that window, so that really creates like the imbalance, which can be useful. So hardly an Intel-based operator, but it kind of serves as a double function or a secondary function there. So there you have it, low Intel for the defense due to those operator bans. Anything you want to add on to that?
Yeah, no, I would just completely agree. Yeah, Mira is not primarily a defensive operator, obviously she's a defensive operator, but she's not primarily an Intel operator, but she does definitely give Intel. And we have an interesting lineup from the attack. I mean, the four of them are pretty default. You know, you got Hibana, your Ace, your Asher, Zofia. Those are your, hard breach and soft breach you need. But the interesting thing for me is the Kali pick. Ever since Callie's quote-unquote buff, she's been a lot worse in my experience. Because her gun's now normal, which means that it doesn't one-shot down everybody. Just 2 speeds and 1 speed is not instantly kills, but overall it's a lot weaker. And it's interesting because there's so many options to get rid of batteries from below here that the Kali is probably unnecessary, so unless Goku really likes the gun, then I don't really see the point in bringing Kali.
Long range, the bread and butter of a Kali sniper rifle, or a Glass for that matter, not that Glass is in play right now, would be, I want to say like Attic, but that's about it. And you don't really need a sniper or a DMR, I'd say Blackbeard, to flush out Attic. Eventually the attack is going to succeed in doing so, but simply just not without a Kali. I suppose Kali can be quite useful as well.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, like, you can see how ineffective the sniper rifle is because Goku's actually using the pocket F2, I like to call it, just from so far away that, like, where you wouldn't used to see the sniper being used, but he's just using that SP SMG9 instead. But he is actually going to be able to use his Kali gadget pretty effectively, allowing Classic Demon to open up the wall.
And right there, it looks like when you're playing vertical, that is a great risk to yourself, because when you're looking at the ceiling, you're not exactly looking for roamers that are looking for a flank on you. That's why you should always have somebody like watching your flank when you're doing that. Aquila being isolated there, that was a death sentence for him. And that's very poor use of your utility. The one smoke canister is going to basically bounce off of your teammate. The other one is going to get eaten up by a magnet. And that is going to be a flurry of kills, leaving the attackers in a 2v4 situation. Kali has a very low, firepower. So she really is not the operator to entry frag. And you could argue that Hibana isn't exactly an entry fragger either. But those
unless you're Shaiko, of course.
Oh. Yeah, except I suppose, but then again, Aerstream is gonna win the first round here. That was not too surprising, all things considered.
Yeah, and I mean, that was very one-sided. There was one kill for Eclipse, and it was very impactless. I did like the double C4 coming out. The first one got shot, so just throw a second one. I can't shoot both of them, right? Eventually, one's gonna land and explode. And eventually it does work.
Sorry, I'm always getting sidetracked. I know I shouldn't, but then again, I have to be keep an eye on chat. Should moderator be needed? People in chat are saying Spree should be casting, and if he's in chat, I suppose he's free enough. If you're getting tired, or if you want, we could bring him in. You casted with him 2 days ago, and you guys, the duo, were getting to know each other, but it wasn't like too bad, all things considered. Once again, like getting to learn to know each other. So would you be interested? Because I've been casting for like 3 games at this point, and I would be not too hardly against the idea of just running cans at this point.
You know, if Spree wants to come in, then he's free to do so. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, Spree, you know the Spree, you know the drill. We're on the same casting channel as always. If you wanted to come in, I'm just gonna be muting myself and producing. And if he doesn't come in, we're just gonna be resuming as we were. It's always possible. No. I mean, somebody's sleeping on in the room next door, so he can't like talk too much. That's a very plausible situation. So well, let's wait and see. But for the time being, bottom defense elbow so hard to defend now that the Jaeger ADS devices have been nerfed, and there's only one ADS device. Excuse me, what?
No, it does look like he's putting another one there, so that's fine.
But even then, like Zofia could overload that with the concussion nades to eat up the ADS devices, and then with the impact to destroy the shield, and Joker would be a goner. So
yeah, no, you're definitely right. I mean, it's a careful balance in you know, investing the right amount of utility into blue, because obviously if you invest too much utility into blue, then the attack will just kind of ignore it and go from freezer or from main stairs. As you can see, Aquila is doing right now. He's pushing into freezer right now, and he gets a lot of damage onto Trix. My, what a free fire there! And Trix is like 1 HP away from death right now. Beautiful shots coming out from Aquila, and that's a long angle as well. So that is not great for Aerstream. Obviously, Trix is still alive though, so that's not the end of the world. But he will be very ineffective in a good fight.
But Avalon has been spotted out, so he could be an ace in the hole. If they realize, yeah, that's exactly what you should be doing, trading the knowledge that you're there for an actual kill. Wink wink to the gunfight before where he shot, revealed his position, and then got turned on. But there is bandit batteries there, or that's actually a Cade's Electroclaw, which is cleverly placed.
That's in supply, isn't it? That is beautiful, Cade Claw, because that is not going to be able to get shot by the Cali.
But I mean, a pillar push is still likely enough to succeed if the attack puts its full weight behind that. So it's not the end of the world, but yes, it definitely is going to be a slight inconvenience for Eclipse at the very, very least. So it looks like they're going to be doubling down on Freezer as Whippet, and was that Zyther? Zyther is in Freezer, and the two remaining attackers of the top floor also are pretty close to the stairway. Maybe they're going to come down there, maybe they're still rotating elsewhere, which seems to be the case. So pincer movement, two-pronged push. That's exactly how that plays out. But once again, the one player that is going to be holding the tight angle into, well, by the washing machines, could shut down the entire push. That's not going to be Trix. It looks to be Joker, who's right there. You know, Joker has a line of sight into both the freezer, and he could just turn around to his left when they get into there. So really, Dusty has to turn around because he's not contributing too much. Trix gets a nice kill, gets a nice double kill. Zyther is going to put Joker down. At least the smoke canisters are no longer going to be a big of an issue, but they don't seem to realize that, and that rotation was way too dangerous. Zyther in a very precarious position.
All right, let's
and
do
he's
it.
there!
Let's
He's there!
do it.
10 seconds to go. Yeah, Class
you guys,
lose that
you do
round.
this round. Let me get set up here. We'll get
Awesome,
going.
awesome. Well, yeah, round's over. He's dead. Aerstream winning round number 2. That's 2-0 for the defense.
No problem for Trix, apparently. He was on health and like an HP and a dream there for most of the round. After Aquila, I think, did a lot of damage on him, like 95% of its damage gone. His health won in the first like 50 seconds of the round, but didn't matter for him. He just killed everybody anyways. He didn't care. And ended up winning the round for Aerstream off of that. That was beautiful.
So, Spree, you're replacing me. I'm muting myself.
Absolutely. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm getting all my software set up, and then we'll get right into it.
Yeah, so right
for me.
yeah. Okay, so right now we have round 3, and we're going to the third tertiary site, or the first tertiary site, I suppose, for the match of the map for Aerstream, and it's going to be meeting and kitchen, which you've been seeing a lot more lately. Typically, you would have seen kitchen and dining, but a lot of teams have been choosing to go to meeting instead. Possibly because of the vertical play that's possible inside of attic. It's just so potent for meeting. You can hold it with ease, and you don't have to hold on to small tower as aggressively. And you see this extended hold upstairs with Dusty getting those bandit batteries onto the wall, and then Mo actually is going to be able to electrify 4 of these walls at once. So those bandit batteries are kind of redundant, but I suppose more is always better.
Yeah, it's interesting going up to meeting and kitchen here because it's the first time that we've really got to see a lot of vertical play coming in from Avalon's or Airstream here. Really, what we have to see, like, unlike kids and laundry here, the difference with meeting is you really have to work on that vertical in the way that you really can't do with any other site. You have to prepare cross angles that go between sites. You've got to have a multi flight hold. Obviously, you've got roamers upstairs, pretty much all the sites that you go to. But when you go to a meeting or just any kitchen site at all, you have to devote a lot of utility to your top floor hold. That can be really hard for your in-floor site. You got to split your resources.
And Whippet almost getting his head taken off there, as Trix is just kind of pinging away at the wall, and he almost gets killed. But Scyther now able to open up the wall with that Cali, being able to get rid of both batteries and the Cade on the wall. So now Attic is free reign for the attackers, and that is a lot of vertical play that's been opened up on meeting itself. And that drone unfortunately drops through the hatch. I don't think that was intentional, but he sees the foot of the Cade there, Mo, and he does run away from that. But Joker is actually going to be holding from below onto the big window there.
Yeah, that is tough.
He tries to hold on, but
very unfortunate for Eclipse there to lose that sledge, but unfortunately for them, getting the refrag with that Ash there, losing those nades so early is going to be detrimental later in the round when they've got to clear that utility here. Trick's able to escape on that Jaeger. Also fortunate for Airstream, not getting picked off so early, but top floor control now in the hands of the attackers. They're going to be able to get those vertical angles set up, and Joker is no longer in a safe position here, causing the defenders to have to move back a little bit. They're going to have to give up a lot of that meeting control that they were holding on to earlier with that attic catch, and unfortunately, it's going to have to be a bit more difficult for them to hold on to the common plant spots. Mo is going to be able to alleviate some of that tension, though, taking out the Cali pretty early on in the execute stage.
And Scyther now threatening Mo with his gun, but Mo's not going to take the bait. He's going to keep on full health, and he's just going to try to prevent plant from going down. He doesn't really need to stop them from actually pushing side as long as he can stop the plant itself. And with that C4 in his pocket, that's going to be quite easy to do. Joker still holding on offside insecurity, just offside. Mo with another kill in the Class of Demon, followed up by Avalon with Scyther now all up to Whippet as he's going to push into kitchen. Doesn't exactly know anybody's location, and he's going to lose his head for that.
Not even able to get one. Good positioning here from Malusi to be able to act off that intel there and dining, and good off his teammates to be able to hold onto those cameras, get the information on the push, and clear out that without any possibility of a clutch even coming into the conversation.
Just not even allowing for any potential. And Whippet just gets shut down very quickly after being put into the 1v3 situation in the first place. Class even sticking on that Crowley, though. He seems to like it. I mean, it's been semi-useful, at least, because he's been able to get the walls open. But after he's gotten the walls open, he's effectively just a walking target. That sniper rifle is very difficult and very unwieldy. You move slow with it, you ADS slow with it. It's not even necessarily going to kill anybody in first one hit anymore, so it's very difficult to use. But he's going to keep on it because of the utility that it offers, and hopefully we're not going to see another full 3-round sweep, because that's what Aerstream just did. They won.
I mean, yeah, that looked very definitive.
Yeah, and none of the runs were even close, to be honest. There was no competition there coming out from Eclipse. They did not look very comfortable there at all.
Mm-hmm. Going back to kids and dorms here, some would call it the bread and butter of Oregon. Really kind of a comfortable site for a lot of people, but on the flip side, it's also a comfortable site for people to attack. Possibly Eclipse's chance here to get a little bit of ground back as they go against something that they would be comfortable attacking, something they kind of know what they're doing. And after a few rounds of getting into their swing on Oregon, maybe this is their chance to make a hit and swing the momentum back.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm Eclipse, I'm going to be trying to reset my mentality here as best as possible. I mean, when you're in this 0-3 situation, you can't let yourself get discouraged, because every round is a new round, and you can't allow yourself to lose your edge there. But Trick's going to try to push up to tower from below, from the basement actually, and he does get a C4 off, but it does not hit anybody. And
Aggressive play there from Trix as he pushes up. In fact, if that Nitro had landed, that would have been I'd say a incredible play, really, to be able to sneak in there and get that damage off with little to no repercussions.
Yeah, the only fortunate thing is that he didn't end up losing his life or any health for it, but Mo ended up losing half his life for something. I'm not sure what. It's not great for him, but we've seen what people can do on low health in this game. If you don't get hit, it doesn't matter.
If you got a pistol, you're still in the match.
Yeah, precisely. And now Whippet's going to be trying to take out the Jaeger here. He's going to get killed, or not killed, but shot through the wall quite a bit. And as I say that, the Kylie getting the first kill of the round for her and for her team.
Not good for Trix here, getting locked into the garage. Looks like the attackers already know where he is. He's going to get pushed in from both sides, and I assume meeting split, yep, getting pushed up, and Crossfire getting set in. It's going to be the second defender to go down for the round, and it's looking like the momentum switch is in progress. Eclipse able to finally get a good start in their hands with good time on the board, and Hard Breach still available to them. Things looking all in all pretty good utility-wise.
Yeah, for sure. And now you can see the XU starting to go down. The Capitao shooting some firebolts, but ultimately ineffective there, as Avalon does go down to less than 25 health in the meantime. But Joker is trying to get at this nice angle onto the breach of Attic, but he's going to be ineffective in doing so. Army push coming out as well from the attack.
Absolutely balls to the wall play from Avalon in Master with a sliver of health and an SMG-11 in hand, surrounded by attackers.
Yeah, I don't expect him to survive much longer. Oh no! And Avalon actually gets a shotgun blast onto the Ash.
And another one! Down. Wow, an absolutely incredible double kill in a situation I thought was all but done. Yeah, Avalon able to swing things back for his team, but Plant's still going down. They're going to have to do the retake here.
Yeah, and Zyther getting the kill onto Joker after planning, and that's 35 seconds left on the diffuser, and it's all up to Dusty and Avalon. Avalon not long for this world if he can avoid it, but he does end up dying, and Goku finishes off Avalon finally after Avalon tried his best, but ultimately ineffective in doing so. And
yeah, that was a good push there.
Yeah, that was a very good push from Eclipse, and that's the first round they have on the board. They're going to need to repeat it 3 more times, though, if they want to have a fighting chance here.
I will say that it did seem like a lot of those early picks were due to mistakes from Aerstream, especially getting locked into the garage there, the over-peaking on the Cali. But whether or not it was faulty that they got those early picks, it was definitely that it was the fact that they were able to get those picks that gave them the advantage necessary to secure that round.
Yeah, and the fact that Eclipse were able to reset themselves and get the win on this round, on the best quote unquote best site on Oregon is very good, and it's going to scare Aerstream enough to go down to the basement for their 5th round on defense, and they're going to be looking for a repeat of the second round of this half, but the Eclipse will be looking for a repeat of the last round that they just played.
Going back downstairs is going to be... I don't know if it's going to be any better in the same sense as upstairs in kids, but what we really got to see in terms of improvement on Aerstream is just keeping those roamers alive longer. Obviously, some of that lurking went on to Avalon later when he moved out into bedroom, but if he'd still had that Malusi alive to play below for Nitro or just to be able to support him in a crosshold, maybe it wouldn't have been so tenuous and they would have been able to recover sight before Ace had been able to push through the kids rotate.
Yeah, and we see Cade actually with that beautiful electrical again in supply, but it's able to electrify E-Box hatch, and that is going to be very difficult to deal with without a Thatcher, and because the Cali is not going to be able to get it off of that hatch. But Whippet actually inside already. He's just running in there. There's no real roaming presence from above from Aerstream except for Dusty on these back tower stairs, and he's going to be contesting Whippet here, but he doesn't know where he is. If he doesn't look the right way, he might die. It's not good for him, but if he peeks out here, he might lose his life. He gets drawn out, so he falls back down the stairs. And the attack has full control of the first floor and second floor now, which is not good for Aerstream because it's only been 2 minutes, or it's only been 1 minute. It's still 2 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, a lot of top control here pretty early on in the round, and with the utility from the Kali here, it doesn't look like there's going to be much in the way of defender utility that's going to be able to keep the attackers back from taking all this type of ground. A little bit of mess up there from Lauren on the cage, but able to actually, wow, get them, yeah, actually no, I take it back, not a mess up. Very nicely done. She's able to get it through the wall and keep that E-Box hatch at bay. I think, despite what I said, it does seem the defenders may have the utility necessary to burn the time they need to keep themselves running in this round, despite not having that roam to burn time.
Yeah, and Aquila trying to push into Laundry here. That's not something you often see. It smells of something of desperation here as the smoke canisters start to come out with a minute left in the round. That's not great, but not awful timing for the defense and the attack, respectively. But the blue as well is going to be starting to get opened up. E-Box wall finally being opened up by Eclipse, and they're going to be trying to go here, but the Mo and the Kate is still holding on to blue.
First pick comes out for Trix. He's able to take out the Zofia of the other team. Not having too much influence, though, but he's immediately refragged there by the Ashe. Decent trade there. Utility already being put down for the Goyu. It's going to be the push mainly coming from Bunker here. We see 3 of the attackers funneling up with Diffuser. With only 30 seconds left on the round, it's going to be a push, and it's going to happen now. But that early shot coming in from the Kali is going to make things just a little bit more dire for the defense.
Ooh, Dusty playing in the higher Potter. He doesn't know the second person's there. It's an even trade. Now it's a 2 versus 2 as Avalon also gets a kill to Goku. Now it's all up to the Smoke and the Jaeger. Smoke gets a kill, but the plant's going down with the last player up. Scyther, 10 seconds left. He needs to get the plant down. He gets off the plant, and Joker with a shotgun from Smoke is going to demolish him. That's a beautiful round from Aerstream, and they go up 4-1.
Yeah, very nice comeback there from Aerstream, as it looked like with the man advantage from that Kali pick, things were really swinging over to the attack as they were going to go for a extension and E-Box split push. But with those frags coming in the last few seconds and finally that shotgun pick on the Kali, they were able to secure things out in a time where I thought was pretty much done and null.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't looking great for Aerstream in the beginning, if I'm being honest, because they lost top and middle floor very early on, but they managed to bring it back with some solid anchor play, and that's what I was kind of talking about before the match started. As an Oregon, you have to be holding on like very hard to sight, and roaming isn't necessarily as important, but we'll have to see for this very last round if Aerostream can go 5-1, or if Eclipse will be able to bring it back to a measly 2-4.
Yeah, it's really looking strong for Aerostream right now, especially considering their lead off of last match. I'm pretty sure if I can make a prediction that this is almost certainly a confidence issue. After following up on the last match, taking the dub, and then going on to defense on Oregon here with such strong team chemistry, even in rounds where I had predicted that perhaps Eclipse might pull a one-up just from their setup and their roam game, it seemed like Aerostream was able to prevail even so. And you know that can't feel good on a team who's really desperately trying to get themselves some rounds on the board so that they can feel like they've got a chance of coming back.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it was team damage or if it was like a shot through the window, but Trix actually took like just over 25 health off of himself somehow. I'm not sure what happened there, which is unfortunate, but obviously not the end of the world. And now Zyther and Zwipit are returning into the main lobby. They're going to be trying to get below and get rid of the bandit batteries on the walls there for the Ace and the Habana to open up the walls there.
Yeah, it looks like Ash is able to take a lot of ground very quickly. Oh, nice run out there from Trix as he's able to locate the attacker on his drone. No risk, but plenty of reward. Able to escape. Slightly damaged, but all good to go through the basement. That's a free trade right there.
Yeah, and Dusty also taking some damage. So 2 attackers now, a little bit, or 2 defenders, I should say, a little bit of damage on them, but not enough to really call them like wounded, and now Eclipse off the Kali is gone, and that is not good because that means that you're going to need to go below in order to get rid of any batteries or K charges, which
Yeah, a
is very
little bit
dangerous.
hard to see what's going on here. It seems like, although nice pick there from the Ash, it doesn't seem like besides the closet wall here getting opened up, there doesn't seem to be much of a idea up until now here. The Habana going in, I can kind of see the game's push coming into full form here, but still getting their players into position is going to be important for the attack as they get themselves ready over the next 30-40 seconds to get into position and go for the execute.
Yeah, the flashbang's coming out trying to burn ADS and flash out Avalon, and he does actually get taken down, but Joker with the brief frag onto Goku, as that's nice long angle on that UMP 45 with that 1.5x, and now Mo trying to hold on to this bedroom.
Oh, we're going for it though.
Yeah, Zyther going for the plant.
Coming out though.
T4 though.
Nice shot there.
In a flurry of kills, Whippet is going to be alone, and he doesn't even get a single kill. Actually, he does kill Mo, but Joker on the refrag kills Whippet, and Airstream will take the first half 5-1. That is not good for if I'm
not good at all, especially a map up. As I was saying before, you can tell that Eclipse has got the drive. They've got the motive. You saw there with the rush plan. You can tell they're talking to each other. We got to do something. We've got to do something. All right, let's do this. You can see with the Ash clutch there, desperately trying to get picks. Unfortunately, numbers only work so well. You can't be working 2 gunfights at once. But I can see just through the gameplay what kind of strive and motive that Eclipse has got. It just seems like when it comes down to the last few moments, the people aren't in the right places. It doesn't feel like the utility is being used right. The timing's not on point. If things were just to be wound up a little better, like it was a backpack strap that you were just tightening a little bit, they could be a powerhouse in this match. But whether it's a daily thing or just some problem that's going on, things just don't seem to be clicking. But maybe that'll be alleviated here on defense as we switch sides.
Yeah, I would definitely say that defense is easier on this map. So being down 5-1 is obviously really bad, but nowhere near a death sentence, especially considering that Eclipse is now in the defense. And it's a lot easier to be a lot more coordinated on defense. You aren't necessarily, there's not as many moving parts. You're just kind of holding on to individual areas, either together or alone. And that helps teams that are maybe less coordinated play a lot more coordinated. I like these Cade charges. They're going to be difficult to take out. I'm not sure.
From Zyther.
Yeah, I like this. It's going to be... he's actually going to ignore that and just kind of do the default, but, it's fine.
Considering that Thatcher is off the board, it's going to be up to vertical play here from the Zofia and Ash to take out those Electroclaws. Putting them in creative positions is only going to serve to help our friends on defense, but that is a absolutely terrifyingly bad pick to take out this early. Cade playing close and tricking on the wall is going to be taken out from game's window, and if I were to pick one person on defense, I said I don't want to get spawn peeked, it would be Cade. Not spawn peeked, but early pick.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it effectively is a spawn peek, because, Cade got killed in his spawn, at least.
Only Aerstream perfected the method of reverse spawn peeking.
Yeah, exactly. And now the smoke cancer is going to come out and make it a lot easier for Aerstream to push into sight. Like, the wall's already open, less than a minute off the board, and the wall's open already. That is massive. And regardless of these holes in the walls and the angles that Eclipse have made, like that's not something you want to have this early on in the game. And Aerstream, they have the opportunity, they have the means in order to push into sight. And now, as the Jaeger is getting pushed on the armory wall, he's not going to be able to contest the rotate into sight now from Aerstream.
Yeah, good cross angles here coming from Aerstream as they set up on the armory window, trying to clear out this remaining Jaeger player that's pushing back their ability to get into Master. He is going to go down, just too many people in position. My 2 going to get taken out. Just not good positioning here. They were supporting each other, and bad timing there from the Nitrocell as well. But either way, a 2v5 here for the defense as they set up to hold for the push. Going to be coming a little bit earlier than normal. The Echo's going to have to hold for this Nomad on the window. He is able to get the pick.
Yeah, Plank went down now from Avalon, and Goku does get another kill into Mo, so that's now a 2 versus 3. This is suddenly winnable for Eclipse. And Classic
Another
Demon
pick.
with another kill onto Trix. So now, but Classic Demon does go down, and now Echo in a 1 versus 2. He's low health, and he's going to need to clutch this up. He's not going to be able to do it. Avalon taking him down. Valiant effort from Goku, but not enough. 6-1 now is Airstream. They need one more round on their attack in order to win this out. And
Very nice 2K from Avalon there.
absolutely, yeah. And he also got the plant out, so he's not only fragging out, he's also playing the objective as well, which is even more impressive in my opinion.
Yeah, I can definitely see that from the past rounds. It just doesn't seem like Eclipse really believes in themselves to come back here. It feels like what they need is a pick me up. Like if Eclipse were playing this round the way that they were playing round 1 of map 1, this would be a different story. And for some teams, that's the case. You can play the same way every round all the way through. But, I mean, sometimes just after taking a beating, like we've seen over the past few rounds, having to deal with the situation of working hard to try to pull off a strat and just having it not work despite your best efforts, it can be really difficult to bounce back from that and keep morale high going into the second and even third map if they're able to claw this back. Like, it's going to be a long haul either way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact is they're just not winning the gunfights. Like they're just, they're getting caught out in bad positions as well. Like you saw with Omai, he kind of just looked away at the exact wrong moment. If he had just stayed on the angle for just a tiny bit longer, he could have easily won that fight, and who knows how that round would have turned out. But as it was, he just looked away and he got picked off for it. And it's just, you can't be making those mistakes. And it's this reinforcement coming in extremely late as well in the hatch. It just speaks to the, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't want to be too mean, but Eclipse is just not playing like a team right now. They're just playing like 5 individual players.
Yeah, look how confident Airstream is right now. They've already had the pre-drones in, and it doesn't look like Eclipse has even been trying to take them out. There has been momentous ground taken in the first 30 seconds, but this Jaeger here hiding in top small tower may be exactly what they needed. Same as Goku here on the Malusi. These picks are exactly what could work against Airstream at this moment. Just fast and heavy frags, take a pick and run. Just give yourself the man advantage and see what happens with it. Be a little aggro. Seems like it's a good thing Eclipse changing up their playstyle so they're able to maybe accommodate for their situation and put themselves in the best possible position to make a comeback.
Yeah, the early pick there onto Dusty is huge because the Sophia is such an important operator, and Dusty has been so impactful throughout these the first map and this map as well.
Not just that, but Jaeger's still on the roam here. We haven't seen him in a while, but he's been off-site, undetected, and ready to make a power play at any moment here. Hiding in small tower, is able to avoid the drones, and he's already made his way past the drone line.
Oh no, but the air attack is off.
Gonna give his position away, but I mean, despite that, he's still in a position of power, and he's gonna be able to burn so much time from Airstream.
It doesn't look like Avalon knows he's here. Like if Aquila could,
it looks like the Nomad charge may have gone past him. He's the only person in position, and oh no, that's Diffuser. Jaeger able to get the pick on the ace here.
oh my god, Joker on the Classic Demon though, bringing it back a little bit. It's still a disadvantage for Airstream, but there's suddenly
Very smart move from Jaeger though. Oh, but another pick.
Aquila gets a kick onto. Oh my god, Aquila is just demolishing Airstream right now, and now it's all up to Joker.
Two very nice double kills there. I don't even know which one to focus on. Nomad able to frag out for his team, but it's kind of going to be in vain. Jaeger able to do a 200 IQ vertical hold, holding onto that diffuser, keeping his team in the game. And the pistol kill to finish it off. What an insult to injury. You know what I was saying about confidence with Eclipse? Yeah, I think they heard me. I think they heard me through the stream, and they're going to be proving me wrong. Eclipse take their second round on the map.
Yeah, Aquila there. I think we found what Aquila needs to do. He's just really good at okay, so that wasn't BM. That was just a glitch. It looks like he couldn't aim with his main gun, which is unfortunate. But that just proves that he's so good that he can frag out with the pistol even. And we might need to have him leave and rejoin. We'll see if he can ADS right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, although I do hate to rain on their parade, but it is unfortunately because of the drone mishap there, hiding so far up in small tower, that Jaeger was able to get in such a position of power. Ideally for Aerstream, they're going to be eliminating that as a possibility going forward, checking their corners. I doubt something like that's going to work again, but just the very possibility, just doing it in the first place, is going to be the confidence boost that Eclipse needed to get themselves back on their feet. Just getting around on the board, thinking about what's gone wrong, how to fix it, and putting themselves back in their best zone is exactly what they need if they want to take a dub in this match.
Well, yeah, and the fact that they were able to win that round and that Aquila was able to just kind of like, how do I say this without being rude? How like he was able to just kind of dump on all of them, on all the players of Aerstream, shows that Aerstream is mortal and that they're like they can be felled, and that just is it's a real confidence booster, and I think that is exactly what Eclipse needed to bring themselves into this match. I think that right now they stand the best shot that they've had all series at like taking a round and like maybe taking the map.
Yeah, going back to kids is going to be interesting for Eclipse because it didn't seem like last time they had a very good idea of how to manage their players. Obviously, it did come down to the wire there with some great picks coming out from Classy Demon, but despite that, we saw 3 picks going out in the first minute and a half. It was a complete slaughterhouse up until the last minute. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to adapt to their previous round's failings and just put themselves in a better position.
Yeah, and we see the same position from Aquila in Armory, and maybe like that last round was the confidence boost he needed to actually like hold this properly. But last time he got shut down pretty heavily from a pinch from the 2 players on Armory window and then on the Armory stairs as well. But this time he does have Goku holding on to the Armory stairs themselves. But Trix is on Armory stairs as well, so he's going to get shut down by Goku as well, as he does not get droned out effectively. And the C4 are going to go out, miss completely, but oh no. Mo and Dusty getting a kill each, bringing themselves into the lead here in round counts, or in man counts.
Aquila, again, back to put his team in the running. If I were Eclipse right now, I would be giving this man a pat on the back because it seems whenever they're having issues, he is there to keep them in the running.
Yeah, Aquila definitely being the linchpin in this defense right now, and you can see the Wamida is starting to go off as the execute is attempting to go off for Aerstream, but they are in an even man count now rather than a man advantage, which is what they were in last time, and that is not great for them. A minute left though; they have plenty of time to drone and to maybe get some more kills off site, but as it stands, they aren't looking like very confident in taking this.
Yeah, nice shots from Classy Demon here, just keeping Ace back in trophy. He's going to have to be careful of the breach there, though. Only 2 canisters left in his pocket, and he's going to have to use them wisely with 40 seconds on the clock and a split push coming in with Dusty on bottom white stairs, maybe big window. But if I were Eclipse, I would be sighing a giant breath of air right now. Taking that pick there and giving them the man advantage is what you need in this situation. With so many angles to cover, having that man up means everything.
Yeah, Avalon going down there is huge. He's been such an impactful fragger here, and the smoke canister is going to force Joker to come up close to the door, which could prove fatal if he gets peeked by that shotgun there. And he does actually go down to the SMG-11 rather than the shotgun, and then Aquila finishing it off onto Dusty. That is what needs to be happening. 6-3 now for Aerstream, but the Eclipse is starting to come back.
Yeah, it does. As I said in the round that Eclipse took number 8, when we saw Aquila able to get that 3K there and just swing things back. I mean, I'm not going to call anything, but that round did look very convincing. It was good coordination from Eclipse, good teamwork. Their positioning and patience was on point. They didn't give any freebies, or there was a few freebies, but late in the round when it really mattered, they were able to keep their wits about them and secure the round. And if they're able to keep doing that, I could see this going to OT.
Yeah, and this Cav pick over to the 6 on Castle I like because it kind of amplifies the mind games that Eclipse is playing right now. And Whippet apparently has a black screen, which is not great, but we'll have to
Well, we
see.
may need a rehost to fix that. We'll see.
He seems to be fine now, I guess.
Oh,
Either that or he knows the
if
map
he can,
inside
if he
and
can
out.
do that with a black screen, this man deserves a Medal of Honor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he should be playing the ugly rounds with black screen if he is able to maneuver like that.
The first blind Siege Pro.
Precisely. And so we now see the tertiary site, which we're going to need to see again and win if we're going to see the defense, or if we're going to see Eclipse take it. But meeting again, so meeting seems to be the preferred site for these competitive teams, which is interesting because in ranked you almost always see dining, which obviously ranked is not the same as competitive, and it's nowhere near as, I guess, competitive, but it is interesting to note.
Yeah, we did see that last time Eclipse were attacking on meeting. They were very good at clearing out the top floor and getting that vertical control, but after that, it seemed like they kind of lost their way. If they're able to get the same amount of control as last time, oh, not a good start. Same control as last time, and actually execute on it with some good vertical, they may be able to make something more of this round.
Yeah, Dusty getting the first pick onto Goku, that is huge. The mutes, that's going to be C4 down, and if he had any mute jammers left in his pocket, which I'm sure he didn't, but, it's always a possibility. Oh, no. Okay, so Whippet doing a lot of damage onto Dusty and Trix, but it's not going to be enough to kill him. But he does actually get the headshot on him, and then another headshot on his Joker.
Very
Whippet single-handedly carrying his team here. He gets a lot of damage onto another, but not enough.
I was
finally
just
shut
saying
down.
that Whippet was a dead man living, but just as I was about to say that, coming in with a double pick there to make his worth on the board, absolutely showing why the position works. I mean, he shouldn't really, but the positioning and the gun skill worked in his favor, and he was able to secure things for his team and keep the boat afloat.
Yeah, for sure. And now 2 of the 3 players left for Aerstream are lit up quite a bit. And you're going to get some damage to the Classic Demon, but it's not going to be enough to take him down. There's been a lot of back and forth in this round, but not anything decisive yet. As it is still a 3v3 with a minute and 15 seconds to go. And cloud control is in favor of Airstream, and they're going to start to fall off of that in order to push onto site, but they don't see the person in freezer stairs, as he's either could make a nice rotate flank onto Trix, but Trix does take down the Classic Demon, now in favor for Airstream. And no, Zyther missing the shot onto Mo, and Mo takes him down with a nice headshot.
Now in the 1v3 here, he's got to vault this shield if he wants to get into sight and deal with the planters, but he's being covered from dining door. Will this be the end of the match? Yes, it will. Trix secures the round for his team. It's going to be a victory for Airstream. Very nicely done from the boys at Airstream. Airstream strong.
That was very nice round from Airstream. That was incredible play. Even the Whippet attempted to bring it back with that castle play.
Despite all the individual plays we saw from those guys over at Eclipse, it just didn't seem like they were able to lock it in when it came to it. But despite that, it was a good effort. Maybe not a definitive one, but good enough. And they really they brought it close nonetheless. Anyways. Whew. How do you feel, Vulgar?
That was incredible. That was a very, very fast-paced match, and I am glad to have seen it. That was incredible to watch, and I'm very happy to have been able to watch it. But that is it for now. It's a quick 2-0 from Airstream, so yeah, it was faster than expected, but it was still very exhilarating and entertaining.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned there about round 8 for Airstream when they started slipping up with that Jaeger. It seemed like there was a change of pace, but despite that, it seemed like in the end Airstream really had it cut out for them, and they were not really interested in letting go of their lead. Obviously, maybe a lesser team or a lazier team would have loosened up on the brakes and maybe gone for a 6-4, 6-5, or even tested their fate entirely and pushed it to map number 3. But when you're in a 6-1 position, you're just a good team's not going to let that stuff go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Eclipse definitely started to get in their stride a little bit towards the end there, but unfortunately, it was just a little bit too late, too little, too late, and they just were not able to close it out. Well, Airstream was able to close it out, unfortunately for Eclipse, and Eclipse weren't able to, get the kills that they needed. They were able to get a lot of kills that they did need, but yeah, like I said, it just was not enough.
Yeah, though, I mean, when you're on that second map, you've already got a map under your belt. All the pressure is on Eclipse there to bring things back. They've got all the pressure, all the time is on their hands. And when you're going against a team consistent with their playstyle, they're not laxing up, they're not giving you mistakes to play off of. It's really difficult to think of what kind of angle you want to go at to break inside that shell and actually get yourself in a position where you're going to make a comeback. Looks like we have a interview tied up before we go into our closing thoughts. Just
Yeah,
waiting
and
on a move in here. And there we go.
Hello.
Trix, welcome.
What's up, Spree?
How are you doing?
Not bad. Feels good to win this week after our mess last week.
What an intense game there in the last few seconds. How are you feeling?
Pretty
Just
good.
about the game.
We played well. It's the first league match we had with Mo. She did a really good job playing. We're definitely working on a lot. Like team wise, comm wise, just
I can tell strat wise too. Those
Yeah.
cage on the E-Box hatch. Very impressive.
Yeah, she brought that for us actually. That was an addition to the strat when she first saw it.
Looks like she's being a great asset to the team. I mean, she was working in and out with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Fitting in well. It's really nice. I mean, it gives us a whole, it's just, we know she's there to help and always improve our strats. So whenever she says something strat related, it's something to look into.
One thing that I noticed there, a bit of a tense point there. We saw the Jaeger getting that very nice 3K on round number 8, and it looked like you guys might have been a bit shaken until you got your stuff back together and closed the match out. Did you feel a little bit of fear maybe? Things started slipping.
No, definitely not fear. It was we just kind of we saw we were up, we were feeling good, playing well, hitting our shots, and I guess we just got a little like overconfident with our droning. Give me 1 second. Sorry, roommate walked
Play
in.
the elevator.
Yeah, we got a little overconfident with just with the droning and kind of missed a little spot. He was in Showers Hall. I think he was sitting there the whole time. The late flank kind of just didn't really help us, but it was all right. I mean, that was the only slip up I really felt like we had. Otherwise, our droning was good. Communication was good. We were sticking to the plan, which was nice.
Yeah, it really seemed like you guys were a well-oiled machine there going about your stuff. One thing that stands out very consistent between rounds, it really didn't seem like you guys were giving up any opportunities for Eclipse to play off of. As I was saying before you joined, just when being a map down and looking to claw yourself back up, you're looking for the enemy team to make some mistakes, make something that you can, just to give yourself something to work with, And it didn't seem like you guys were intent on giving them any opportunity to put themselves in a position of authority.
Yeah, it was definitely a gift when we saw the map ends that we were getting defense on Oregon first. We've been practicing every map a ton, but one that's recently been nice for us has been Oregon. It's just good practice on it. It's newer to us, newer strats on there, but I mean, they seem to have worked, and definitely always going to look to improve the strats we have on other maps too. I mean, Phil's strats went well, Oregon strats went well. It really stinks we couldn't show the clubhouse strats. We definitely have a few fun ones on that map. So next team that wants
I'm
to,
sure your opponents are waiting to see those
next team
strats.
playing us should bring us there. It's a fun map. We'll see some
Had a
funny
challenge.
stuff. I mean, if they want one.
Very confident. And before we head out for the night, are there any thoughts that you want to give, or any statements that you want to give to your opponents, Eclipse?
It was really good playing against them. We're glad it was a good match. Are they out of the tournament now?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen the bracket yet.
Well, if they have
So
another match,
Let me answer to that because yes. So the two-stage GSL format basically makes it so that after this, this is round one, right? So the best teams are gonna go in a strong bracket, and the lower teams are gonna go in a weaker bracket to make it so that the matches, the follow-up matches, are gonna be a bit more balanced, a bit more fun for everybody involved. So yes, and if you are in the top two of your group, you're already basically guaranteed an access into the playoffs, and your next stage is basically your guys are going to be playing for basically just seeding into the playoffs, whereas the lower group, out of the four, only the best two teams are going to be playing into the playoffs. So they're not out, but I mean their margin for error is substantially narrowed there.
All right, so I'm guessing then we have another match. I guess we just got to keep winning. Really, that's the plan. I don't really know why I'm thinking otherwise. So definitely gonna keep winning. Good luck to them. Honestly, it's a good team. They had some good strats. Our communication might have outdid them a little bit. And I think we played well. I mean, I honestly think when we play well, we're hard to beat. So definitely good job to them. But
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Trix. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Looking forward to the next match.
Yeah, absolutely. And good stuff out there.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. Talk to you later. You too.
All right. Well, that's going to be pretty much it for the stream here. I'm absolutely happy with the outcome of the match. Super exciting game, super exciting action. And I mean, a strong up and coming team right there.
Absolutely. I mean, you heard him. He's like he said, they're very difficult to beat when they're playing well, and yeah, I can see that because of how well they're playing. They're extremely coordinated. The droning they had was beautiful to watch. You saw Aquila attempt on, especially on Villa. He attempted to kind of roam, but for the most part, he just kept getting droned out, and he had to fall back before getting shut down. And obviously, it wasn't enough. He just got shut down anyways.
Absolutely. Well, anyway, that's pretty much all we have to talk about tonight. If you want to see more of what we have to offer, it's SpreeR6 on Twitter, Vulgar Praxis on Twitter. We'll be here casting for DA League in the future, upcoming games this week and going into next week. And I'm excited to see what we have to come. This has been some awesome matches so far. I'm looking forward to seeing where these brackets go and seeing a good story form, a good legacy. Anyway, that's going to be pretty much it for the broadcast. I appreciate everyone coming out tonight, and we will see you in the next stream. Good night.